everyone, I'm Via and welcome to this bullet journal with me video. Today I'll be showing you guys the process of how I created my Gryffindor title page for the month of April. This is actually the last Harry Potter house that I am doing for this year. I've already done all the other houses and all of the processes start out the same. So if you want a more in-depth video going over this part, look at the videos in the cards or attached in the description. Right now, all I'm doing is tearing out some pieces of red paper to put in the center of my pages, and I'm also going to tear out some paper bag to glue onto the back of them so it's peeking out of the edges. It's a lot easier if I just show you what it looks like, but here is what the front is going to look like, and here's what the back looks like. I made 2 of these so that I could do a full 2-page spread, and I'm just going to glue them in. After that, I'm going to close my notebook and put some heavy books on top of it as it dries so that it dries nice and flat and without wrinkles. Now that that's done, I'm just penciling out the title for the month, and I'm using a serif font that's kind of has blocky sides to it, and I'm just going to outline and color it in with a white gel pen to make it really stand out from the red paper. Now I'm just using my white gel pen again to write Gryffindor in cursive. I always think it's so satisfying to watch the time lapses of my lettering after I'm done because it goes so quickly and I think it looks really cool. This is definitely the most challenging part of the spread, but I looked on Pinterest for a bunch of reference images to draw a lion on the side of the paper, and what I like to do with these spreads is use my white gel pen for all the parts that are on the red paper and on the paper bag, and I'm going to use my black felt tipped pen to do the outlining for anything that's on the white paper. I think this just gives it such a cool effect, and in addition it just really makes it stand out a lot more, especially when the paper is a bit darker. It looks a lot nicer when you're using a white pen. After I'm done outlining, I always make sure to erase all the pencil lines just to make sure that the spread has a nice clean look. Now I'm writing in a quote from one of the books that says, "You might belong in Gryffindor, where dwell the brave at heart. Their daring nerve and chivalry set Gryffindor apart." In the bottom left-hand corner is where I'm using a metallic pen to write in some of the traits of Gryffindor. While I was looking them up, a lot of them seemed really redundant along the lines of bravery and courage, so I had to dig a little bit deeper, but I think I found a few that really exemplify the House of Gryffindor. I decided to keep bravery and daring, but I also added chivalry as well as tenacity. I feel like with all the people who I know who consider themselves to be Gryffindors, I definitely see those traits in them. Doing all of these Harry Potter spreads has been so fun, and I'm really excited about this one in particular because most people in my family are Gryffindors. And so I'm really excited to show this to them when it's all finished. The next step is to mix the perfect Gryffindor red using my watercolors. I have a couple of types of red in my palette already, so I actually ended up mixing both of them. One is a bit more of a berry red, and the other one has a bit more of orange in it So I added those two colors together and mixed in some green to tone it down, and then also some yellow. And after I finished mixing it, I created an ombre kind of streak of watercolor paint and by the lion so that I can write the year on top of that. And while that's drying, I'm going to go work on the other parts of my spread. Gryffindor's other color is gold, and I'd already had some mixed on my palette from when I was doing my Hufflepuff spreads. So I decided to use that to color in the golden snitch within the page. And I'm also going to use it later on to add to the outline of my lion as well. I decided that I would include lots of elements of Quidditch within the spread because even though all the houses play Quidditch, I just generally associate it with Gryffindor, probably because of the books and the movies. So I thought it would be a really fun way to both incorporate the Gryffindor colors and also the Gryffindor spirit by adding the Quidditch elements. In addition to the golden snitch, I also drew some broomsticks on the red portion of the paper, and I also drew in lots of stars as well, and I'm going to color in both the broomsticks and stars with my red watercolor paint. After that, I'm going to go over everything with my black pen or my white pen, depending on which part of the paper that it's on, and complete it by drawing out the outlines. Using the watercolor on the red paper turned out to be a lot more subtle than I had anticipated, but after I outlined it, I think it turned out looking really nice. As I was painting out the stars, I wasn't really trying to make it look very neat or anything because, once again, when I outlined it, I really defined the edges. Now that the paint had dried where I was going to write the year, I used a black calligraphy pen to write in 2021. I offset the numbers a little bit because I feel like this spread especially is a bit more whimsical and playful, and so I decided to do that to give it a little bit more of a dynamic look. I also added a highlight on each of the numbers with my white gel pen. The last part is just adding all the finishing touches, outlining anything that still needed to be outlined, adding little circles and stars to fill in some of the empty space, and also using my gold paint to accentuate the lion. And here's the final product. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it inspired you, and if you have any questions about anything that you see here, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.